Hi everyone, it's Hannah from Hand Done Crochet, and today's project is this beautiful mohair scarf. Now it uses herringbone stitches and chain spaces to create this little motif here that we have running through the whole of the scarf. Now it's really simple. There's only a few rows of a repeat to get used to, and once you've got that, you're away, and you can make it as long as you like. You can change your foundation chain to change the width of it as well, so it's really adaptable. And it's a great way to get going and working with mohair. It's absolutely lovely to work with. The thing to note in this is that we do use it doubled. So I use 2 strands put together. Now you can either do this from the center of a ball and the end of a ball, but I find especially with this yarn it gets in a good old tangle. Or you can have your 2 balls and you can use either the center or your ends from both of them. Now you're also going to need a 6.5mm crochet hook, believe it or not, so a K crochet hook, and that's really normal when working with such delicate and fine yarn, because what we want is all of this drape. We want it to be nice and loose and gentle and soft, so that's the reason for the much bigger hook than you might be expecting. And then you're also going to need a pair of scissors and a needle for your ends. So I'm not even going to attempt to show you it in this yarn because look, I just don't think you would see anything here at all. So I'm going to show you in some much thicker yarn here. This is category 4 weight yarn, so that you can just see exactly where the stitches go, but obviously you won't be using this, you'll be using this much finer yarn that we have here. So I've put all the information down below about where to find the pattern and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you go and find your version of it, and then we'll be ready to get going. Now you'll see in the pattern it tells you that you can make a foundation chain of 7 plus 2 to set the width of your scarf, and the version that I made with this finer yarn here, I suggested chaining 51 to begin with. So I'm not going to chain 51 because you don't need to see me make that many. So I'm going to pop a slip knot on the hook, and I am going to work a multiple of 7 plus then 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then we'll just pop 2 on the end there. Now we begin row 1 by yarning over and then finding the 3rd chain from the hook, so number 3, and I'm going to work into the back bump. And we're going to pop through that chain, yarn over and pull through. And now the difference with a herringbone stitch is that where we would normally yarn over and then continue the stitch, we're actually going to pull straight through there, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through 1, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. So it gives the stitch a nice slant. And we're going to carry on doing that in each chain that we come across. So yarn over and pull through 1, and then 2, and then 3. So we're going to yarn over, find our next chain, pull up a loop and pull it through that first one, yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2. So it's really similar to a double crochet stitch, and if you have done lots of double crochet stitches recently and then you start doing this, give yourself some grace because your muscle memory will be there from that, and that's perhaps why I'm finding it a bit tricky because I haven't done these stitches in a while. So it will take a bit of time and a bit of practice, but they are lovely stitches once you get the hang of them. Now here we are at the end of row 1. And this is what it should look like, and we're ready then to turn and work row 2. So for row 2 we're now ready to start our filet section, which is not as scary as it sounds. We're going to chain 2, and that doesn't count as a stitch. We're going to herringbone double crochet in this first stitch here. Sometimes I find if you twist your work it works better for that first pull through. So then the first and then the second stitch gets a herringbone double crochet as well. Then we chain 1, we skip the next stitch, and then we herringbone double crochet into the next one. We chain 1, we skip 1, and then we herringbone double crochet into the next 2. and that is our repeat for this row. So we go herringbone double crochet in 2, chain 1, skip 1, herringbone double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip 1, and then herringbone double crochet in the last 2. And then that is row 2 complete. Now for row 3, we're going to chain 2, and we're going to do really similar to how we've done before, but with different chain spaces is all. We're going to work a herringbone double crochet in that first stitch there, then chain 1, skip 1, and then a herringbone double crochet in the next, which is a chain space from the row below, chain 1, skip 1, herringbone double crochet here in that chain space, and then we chain 1 and we skip 1, and then we herringbone double crochet in the next. So again, that gives us our 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and then we repeat that 7 all the way across the row. So a herringbone double crochet in the next one, chain 1, skip 1, herringbone double crochet in that chain 1 space, chain 1, skip 1, herringbone double crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1, skip 1, and then a herringbone double crochet in that very last one there. And so then that's row 3 complete. And so we turn to work row 4, and row 4, happy days, is a repeat of row 2. So we're going to begin with a chain 2 and a herringbone double crochet in this first stitch. Now do give yourself some space to turn there, and then a herringbone double crochet in the next, which is a chain 1 space. We're going to chain 1 and skip 1, and then a herringbone double crochet in the next one there. We're going to chain 1, we're going to skip 1, herringbone double crochet, which is into a chain 1 space, and then a herringbone double crochet into the next. So then remember, that's our set of 7 that we now need to repeat. So a herringbone double crochet in the next 2, a chain 1, skip 1, herringbone double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, and then a herringbone double crochet in the last 2. And that is row 4. And now we're going to turn, and the last row that we need to do for the repeat is simply chain 2 and then work a herringbone double crochet into each stitch and chain across. So your stitch count will always stay the same. It's just your chains and your spaces that move throughout the pattern here. But as you see, there's actually only 2 rows of those to get used to. So once you have done it a few times, you'll be doing it without even looking at the pattern. You won't need to. And there we have it. Now you'll see it's much clearer to see the filet detail in the actual shawl than it is on this thicker yarn, because this fine yarn lends itself really, really well to this kind of stitch. And you'll see when it's on, because it's lovely and see-through, it stands out much better there too. So now all you need to do is repeat rows 2 to 5 for as many rows as you like. I've set up to 121 rows, and that's what I did for my version, but that was a really long scarf. So if you don't want yours to be quite as long as mine, then stop before you get there, and always end on the row 5 there. And then you weave in your ends and you are all done. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. I can't wait to see your versions, so do come and find me and show me, and I will see you again soon.